Your salary is not the thing that makes you rich, and the proof is almost absurd. About 40% of Americans earning more than $500,000 a year are quietly struggling to get ahead. That is not a typo. According to a 2025 Goldman Sachs report, 4 in 10 people pulling in over $500,000 report living paycheck to paycheck. So if a $500,000 salary cannot guarantee wealth, then the story we have all been told, that the path to retiring rich is simply to earn more, has to be wrong. The real reason most people never retire rich comes down to something else entirely, and a janitor who died with $8 million is about to prove it. We get one thing backwards from the start. We treat income and wealth as the same word, but they are almost opposites in disguise. Income is what comes in. Wealth is what you keep. A millionaire is not someone who earns $1 million a year. It is someone whose net worth, meaning everything they own minus everything they owe, adds up to $1 million. You can earn a fortune and own nothing, and plenty of people earn very ordinary paychecks and build a real one anyway. The difference between them is never the size of the salary. It is what happens to the money after it lands. Let me walk you through exactly why. First, a bigger salary almost always just buys a bigger life. It is called lifestyle inflation, and it is relentless. The raise comes in, and within a month the nicer car, the bigger apartment, the upgraded everything rises to swallow it. You feel briefly richer. Then your spending resets to the new number and the richer feeling is gone. Your income went up, but the gap between what you earn and what you keep did not move an inch. That same Goldman Sachs report found that even a quarter of people earning over $100,000 say the same thing. And at the highest incomes, the number spikes rather than falls because the spending climbs right along with the paycheck. A lot of that pull is social comparison. It is the pressure to keep up with the people around you, the neighbours, the co-workers, the feeds full of upgrades. That pressure does not fade as you earn more. It scales up with you. So the raise that was supposed to set you free just resets the bar for what feels normal and stops making anyone feel wealthy. Earning more, on its own, does not build wealth. It just raises the price of your life. Which brings us to a different number, one that actually decides when you retire and that almost nobody tracks. It is your savings rate, the share of your income you keep and invest instead of spending it. There is a famous piece of math, popularised by the writer Mr. Money Mustache and backed by standard retirement research that lays it out brutally. If you save 10% of your income, you are on track to work for about 51 years before you can retire. Bump that to 20% and it drops to roughly 37 years. Save 50% and you are done in about 17. One person, one paycheck, and yet the year they retire still swings by decades, based purely on the gap they keep. And a higher savings rate helps you twice. You put away more each year, and you train yourself to live on less, which means you need a smaller nest egg to retire in the first place. It gets stranger. Take 2 people. One is a doctor earning $250,000 who saves 5% of it. The other is a teacher earning $60,000 who saves 25%. That means the doctor sets aside $12,500 a year, while the teacher sets aside $15,000. The lower earner is building wealth faster, on less than a third of the income, purely because of the gap. And this is the part that should bother you. As of mid-2026, the average American saves only about 3% of their disposable income, according to the latest monthly figures from the Bureau of Economic Analysis, well below the long-run average. Not because they cannot earn more, but because the gap keeps getting spent the moment it appears. Your salary fills the bucket. Your savings rate decides whether it ever gets full. So why does almost everyone still fixate on the salary instead? Because income is visible. It is the number on the offer letter, the figure people compare at reunions, the thing the whole world treats as the scoreboard. Net worth is invisible. Nobody sees the gap you save each month, or fail to, so we chase the number everyone can see and ignore the one that actually decides when we retire. That single blind spot is where most of the damage begins. And if you want proof that the salary is not the thing, look at who actually becomes a millionaire. Ramsey Solutions ran the largest study of its kind, surveying more than 10,000 American millionaires, and the findings flatly demolish the myth. 1/3 of them never earned 6 figures in a single working year of their entire career. Only about 31% ever averaged $100,000 a year, and 79% received no inheritance at all. These were not high-flying executives. The most common jobs among them were engineer, accountant, and teacher, and 94% said they consistently live on less than they make. They built wealth on the gap, not the paycheck. In 2014, a Vermont janitor died with almost $8 million, and no one who knew him saw it coming. His name was Ronald Reed. He spent about 25 years pumping gas, then 17 more mopping floors at a JCPenney. He drove an old car, held his coat together with a safety pin, and earned a modest wage his entire life. There was no inheritance and no secret windfall. For decades, he had quietly bought shares of solid, dividend-paying companies and simply never sold, reinvesting every payout along the way. And friends say he set aside a chunk of nearly every paycheck. He left around $6 million of it to his local hospital and library. A janitor outsaved almost every doctor in the country, not because he earned more, but because he kept more, for longer. Which points to the last force, the one doing the heavy lifting in every story like his: time. This is what turns a small gap into a fortune, and it is hard to believe until you run the numbers. Invest just $300 a month, about the cost of a modest car payment, at the stock market's long-run average return of around 8%, and after 65 years it grows to almost exactly $8 million. That is not a coincidence. It is roughly the pace Ronald Read kept for most of his life. The gap you save is only the seed. Time is what multiplies it, and the earlier you plant it, the more absurd the math becomes. It is also why a modest saver who starts at 25 routinely ends up with more than a high earner who waits until 35. The early saver never earned a dollar more. They just handed the gap an extra decade to compound. To put that in real numbers, picture two people who each put away that same $300 a month at 8%. One starts at 25, the other waits until 35, just 10 years later. Across their whole lives, the early starter puts in only about $36,000 more. But by 65, they end up with roughly $600,000 more than double the late starter's final total. The deposits were identical, and so were the returns. The only real difference was a 10-year head start. So now maybe you are thinking, fine, then just hand me a giant pile of money and I will be set. But there is a catch. When people actually get the windfall, it usually does not save them, because a windfall does not come with the habits that keep it. Look at lottery winners. According to the CFP Board of Standards, nearly a third of lottery winners eventually file for bankruptcy, and they are more likely to go bankrupt in the years right after winning than the average American is. One study of Florida winners found that a mid-sized jackpot did not prevent bankruptcy at all. It simply delayed it. The pattern tends to look the same every time: a bigger house, new cars, gifts and loans to everyone who suddenly appears, and no system underneath to hold any of it. Within a few years, the money is gone and the old habits remain. Drop $1 million on someone who spends everything they earn, and you have not fixed anything. You have handed them a bigger number to spend down to zero. The money just makes the habit bigger. It does not replace it. So put it all together. A bigger salary gets eaten by a bigger lifestyle. The thing that actually decides when you retire is the gap you keep, multiplied by time. The people who quietly get rich prove it, building fortunes on ordinary paychecks and unglamorous consistency. And the people handed a fortune prove the reverse, that money without the habit just disappears faster. None of it comes down to the salary. Wealth is simply what you earn, minus the life you choose to live, invested patiently over time, which is genuinely good news when you sit with it. It means you do not have to wait on some bigger paycheck that may never arrive. You can start widening the gap today on the income you already have. Save the next raise instead of absorbing it. Automate the gap so the money is invested before you can spend it. Then let time do the heavy lifting, the same way it did for a Vermont janitor. That is how an ordinary salary becomes a comfortable retirement, and how a huge salary, without the habit, becomes nothing at all. And one honest reminder before you go: widening the gap does not mean depriving yourself or resenting every year on the way there. The goal was never to die with the biggest possible pile. It is to buy yourself freedom while you are still young enough to enjoy it. So keep the gap, automate the boring part, and then go and actually live the life you are building. So here is the question worth sitting with. If wealth really is just the gap between what you earn and the life you choose to live, then how wide is your gap right now? And what would change if you grew it by even a few percent starting this month? If this shifted how you think about your own money, do me a quick favor. Like this video, subscribe so the next breakdown finds you, and share it with someone who still believes a bigger paycheck is the answer. It costs you nothing, and it helps more people see that the salary was never the real problem. This is MindCraft, where ideas become action, and action becomes your future.